we've got an amp. We got a number of amp guys around my QTH that could handle something like this. So no, I think we're good.
Okay, well, very good. Yeah, I'm just looking at the 811H, so I'll have to kind of make a mental memory of that. 8 is at the 4-tube linear. Anyways, Peter, I better move along here. It is a net here, so I do appreciate you checking in, and thank you very much for being part of our net this afternoon.
No problem at all. What you're hearing is, yes, I'm running the amp right now, so this is how she'll sound. If you ever do get one, that's what she'll sound like, at least from the amp perspective. Maybe not the radio and the microphone, but from the amp.
Yeah, well, very good there, Peter. Well, 7 Trees, I appreciate you checking in, and I better clear with you and move down the log here. This is Victor Echo 3, Bravo Victor Sierra, and I'm your host controller for the Nickel Belt Net until 2:30 local time, and I'd be happy to take your check-in. QRZ.
Kilo Alpha 2, Alpha Delta Kilo.
Okay, there was a double there, and I think, Peter, you were saying 7-3, so 7-3 to you, my friend, and there was a Kilo Alpha 2. I didn't get your suffix. Could you come back with it a second time, please? Yours then.
Certainly. Kilo Alpha 2, Alpha Delta Kilo. Name is Brian.
Okay, very good there, Brian. I'm still trying to get used to an SDR here, so there's a bit of a delay getting back to you. It's just because I'm toggling the mute switch on my MacBook here. So, Brian, how are you this afternoon? What's new in your neck of the woods?
Well, nothing new. Just surviving, day-to-day surviving, getting the wood in to stay warm, and doing a few chores before I go to work. And after work, we'll come home and do a few more chores before we lay our head down for a few more hours and get up and do something again. Sometimes it's the same routine, but the weather's getting nicer, so it's beginning to get a little interesting again. Out of the hibernation stage, just like you are. KA2, ADK, back to you.
Yeah, very good there, Brian. Yeah, and I remember talking to you now because of you being in Peru, New York. It was a name that just kind of stuck out of my mind, and you're actually saying that it was actually a sizable town. So, yeah, I'm just looking at your QRZ page here, and it looks like you've got quite the setup there, my friend. Back to you.
Yeah, well, we don't keep a room full of radios. That's for sure. We keep just what we need. And of course, if we need a backup, we just grab the portable rig and use it in the shack until we get repairs done. But I haven't had any radio issues in a very long time. The only one I had was I had a front end overload of a radio that wasn't used many years ago. I had a 756 Pro 3 with a 3-foot jumper sitting off the back of it, and it was powered off. And I was transmitting, and I could smell something burning, and actually burnt. The smoke started to come out of the vent of the top of the 756 Pro 3 that wasn't even turned on. And it turned out that it burnt the the front end out, the receive, and I ended up rebuilding that. But other than that, the winter knocks down some tree limbs and takes some wires down once in a while. But that's for the course, especially when you live around where there's a few trees. So with that, yeah, it's working. I've sworn off SDR radios a long time ago, and I used to sit back many years ago. A good friend of mine that's passed away now, him and I used to sit back, and we used to call these guys with these SDR radios, the early versions, the guys that couldn't afford a radio. They're talking on the computer. And now I just can't get away from it. It's so nice. Works well, good receive, and the big thing, even with the knob radios now, is you can put the monitor on, and you can actually see the radio in front of you at night. You don't have to turn the light on or turn a flashlight on to see some button that you never use often enough to know where it's located. But anyhow, we'll give it back to Net, and we'll say 7-3, and we're gonna move along. So have a great afternoon. KA2 80K. Back to you.
Yeah, very good there, Brian. So I'm just curious because I have a 756 Pro 3 as well, and I'm just wondering how it was smoking when the thing wasn't even on. Was it a lightning strike or a surge for hydro surge, or did you actually figure out what did it? Over.
Yeah, I did say front end overload. It was a front end overload. I was transmitting on my primary radio, and when I was transmitting on my primary radio with my amplifier on, I think I was only running maybe 500-600 watts, but just enough that it took out the radio sitting on the other end of the desk. It wasn't even hooked up. So yeah, it was front end overload.
Wow, that's disappointing. That is for sure. Well, actually, I bought one of those RF attenuators from DX Engineering that I use on my 756 Pro 3 when I'm using the receive antenna. So I'm hoping that I don't do anything to blow up this radio. It's certainly the best radio I've ever owned. It's just so fun to work with, and I've actually got it interfaced with an optocoupler into my Kenwood TL922, and that seems to work quite well. I had a Kenwood 950S, and for some reason the relay latching stopped on that. So it was right around the time when Keith, the 3IFT, you might have heard of him, had one of these radios for sale, so I snagged it. So anyways, thanks for checking in there, Brian, and I appreciate you being a regular contributor to the Nickel Belt Net. Back to you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yep. It no problem. And yeah, you just be careful. Never heard of it, never seen it until it happened. But since then, I do run a diversity antenna on this radio. I use a vertical along with a horizontal, and when I transmit, it shuts off. I use a MFJ RF sensing SDR is a 1708B switch. So when I transmit, it shuts off my receive antenna. Just a little. The radio does it, but it's just an extra ounce of precaution that doesn't interfere with anything. Some people say that they're not insulated enough, but I feel better that I do it that way. It's like running an ARB 704 buffer before your amplifier. People say don't need them with the new amplifiers, but I got it there just in case.
Okay, well, very good there, Brian. Well, listen, that is useful information for me, being another 756 Pro 3 owner. Anyways, Brian, I better move on down the log here, and I will sign with you for now. And again, thank you very much for being part of our net this afternoon, KA2ABK. I am clear with you, and I'm back to listening to check-ins here. This is Victor Echo 3, Bravo Victor Sierra, and I am your net controller for about another 37 minutes by my time, and I'd be very happy to hear your check-ins. Yours.
November 3, Yankee Papa Zulu.
Okay, VE3, November, Echo Juliet, and there was another station in there behind you. VE3N EJ, just stand by for a second. I'm going to see if I can get the little weaker station in the background. The other station, can you please check in, please?
November 3, Yankee, Papa, Zulu.
Okay, November 3, Yankee Papa Zulu. Good afternoon. I'll take you first. And how are you this afternoon?
Oh, I'm feeling just fine. A day off of work. 76 is still working. And I'm playing with my Yaesu I got around Christmas time, which I've configured to work pretty much anywhere in my house with, as long as there's an Ethernet connection. So I like SDR too. Didn't at first, as well as the other fella. But other than that, just lounging around the house here. It's a nice sunny day down here in South Central Pennsylvania, over.
Yeah, very good there. And I see you like to be called Buddy. Is that the correct term, or would you prefer us to call you Lawrence after you?
I leave that totally up to you. That's what my family called me when I was a youngster in northern Michigan.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with calling you Buddy. Yeah, and I'm just kind of looking at your QRZ page here, and what is the puppy's name?
Oh, that was Henry, named after the rifle.
Very good. Well, Henry looks kind of very nonchalant, and it looks like he's waiting for his dad to take him somewhere. Back to you.
He loved riding in the back of the pickup truck, and he was a very laid-back dog, despite his size, over.
Yeah, very good. Well, you know what? I'm a dog lover here as well. I don't have a dog myself, but I have access to several, including my daughter's dog, Rosie, who is a golden retriever. And Rosie and I go on adventures twice a week, Wednesdays and Friday mornings, and around uptown New York. What am I talking about? Uptown Waterloo. And we just have a lot of fun. So, anyways, I just lost my SDR. I hope I can hear you direct. Over.
Now, hopefully the old Wyndham will carry it up there. All right, net control. Did you lose M3YPZ?
No, I hear you now. You just dropped off like a stone there for a second there, buddy, but I hear you now. Over.
Okay, well, I won't tie it up no more. There's probably more people waiting in the woods there. So my scope picture doesn't look very good on the audio. I think I'm using the wrong mic. But we'll see you later. Thanks for the check-in. November 3, Yankee Papa Zulu. We're back to net.
Okay, very good. N3YPZ. 7-3s there, buddy. Thank you for checking in. I don't recognize the call. Maybe Rolly has got you.
Copy, you're excellent.
Jim, I know exactly where you are. I have been on City Island. I haven't been there in many years. How do you manage to get an antenna up? Over.
Let's break this up, everybody. Enjoy the rest of the day.
At the box. And the antenna I had is a cheap actually 102 feet, 101 feet long, and I have it over the house into my neighbor's yard and to a telephone pole. I've had it there for years, and no one has ever said a thing to me to get rid of it. Over?
Yeah.
Okay, QSL. All right, you're near City Island. You're in the Frog's Neck. Very good, very good. Understood. Good. Well, you're lucky. You got an antenna up there in the city, and nobody bothers you. That's always a big bonus to be able to put up an antenna inside the 5 boroughs. I have a G5 RV as well, and it's broadside north and south. I do very well into the city, and the band is particularly quiet today, so I'm having no trouble copying you, Jim. You're coming in here quite well. Over.
Yes, and so are you, Jerry. The big I love tube radios. I just fascinated with them. And, you know, most of all, I might look at something modern that might be 20 years old, if that's what I call modern. But on the other hand, I like tube rigs, and my favorite is my Collins S-Line here. I also have a vertical antenna made by Gap. It's called a Gap Eagle, and that's good for 42 and up. But I like the dipole as well. I've been running this for years, Joey. One of the biggest problems here in propagation and receiving calls is the two bridges, the Frog's Neck and the Whitestone. And we have below City Island a man-made dump, and we call it Mount Trashmore. And Mount Trashmore has, I cannot get one radio station on Long Island. It just bounces off everything. So I thought I'd let you know that if you would be curious about that type of situation. Over.
Yes, Jim, I can well imagine. I know about the bridges, but I was not familiar with Mount Trashmore. That's a new one. Yeah. Well, you know, you go with whatever it is you have available to you. And I grew up on the west shore of Staten Island in a really backwards town. And it was the site of the largest garbage dump in the world at one time, which is now what they call Fresh Kills landfill. And it is, when I was growing up, it was a local dump. But then it became inundated. It became very big. All the city garbage went there. And at that time, I was using just dipoles and a vertical. You know, I was a novice back in the 1970s. But as we didn't have any big blocks like the bridges that you have there right in the inner city. It was pretty open territory, but it was noisy. It was hard to operate. It was pretty noisy electrically. There was there was a Con Edison station over there. So it was always a challenge, but, you know, hey, if you're going to be on radio, you got to be up for the challenge, Jim, right? KB2FYH, this is W1ZOA.
Yeah, I hear what you say. Isn't it something that they made dump in Staten Island, Fresh Kills or something like that? Well, they make it their tracker. Just like this one, Mount Trashmore. So anyway, someone made that up. I heard it. I'll never forgot it. So anyway, Jerry, it's so nice chatting with you. I'm more of a listener. I like to listen to people. I seldom get out and talk to anyone. But I figure I should call out and see if someone comes back to me. And I thank you so much for coming back to me, Jerry. KB2FYH for a final.
Oh, isn't that nice? And no FCC to control it.
Here, bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Jerry.
General Northwest Commission. Yeah. But yep, them 2-meter beams like that being in the valley, and you got the mountain and stuff there. Guys, you know, up on like High Knob and some of these other high spots up there at 2,000 feet. or up there, you know, on top there where Jaybird lives up there in Lake Park Rockwell. Those boys up there, I mean, when they playing 2 meter side meetings, well, you know, I'm hearing them, and, you know, I can't even hear who they talking to.
KA280K.
They had the guy from NOAA came in and was telling about the, you know, the weather thing. I was telling him, you know, and it works out of the 300 machine. And then the back actually is the one on there. That's the back up, and then they have 2 or 3 others, and there's a lot of pictures of that, how it works out of the NOAA weather crash and all that.
There's that 2,400 feet there. Them boys are all the way up on top of that right there, man. It's just like a dream come true when you're, you know, working at high games. People that's last contest was up, you know, up and down Skyline Drive. I didn't hear that damn. I heard 2 or 3 of them in certain areas. I said, well, where are they at? And I was thinking, like, oh, where? Well, one of them got down here. He went there and he got a little Boston out and outside done. He looked at the engine going and he worked here, then next county over, and then when he got on top of Skyline Drive there, you know, he worked him up that way. Yeah, well, you get up on Skyline Drive, depending on what side you're on going up through there, but I'll sit there and listen to 5-2, and I'm listening to guys up there. On the right side of the mountain there, going through there. Hell, all they got to do is just turn the beam in that channel direction. I can hear them talking on the rubber duck. And now when they start getting on the other side of the mountain, they ain't away from you.
KA280K.
He's got an outside 10 on the car, so
Good afternoon, guys.
going up and down through there, so I heard a few of them as they went south, yeah, they work different counties and all.
No, yeah. I think it's Brian. Is that you, Brian?
Yeah, KA280K. Good afternoon, Jeff. Good afternoon, Mr. Dog.
Yes, sir. Right back at you. Hillbilly's in there, too.
Okay, and and Mr. Hillbilly, got a little rough copy on everybody over here today. I don't know if it's everybody or just me, but the band's a little down.
Yep. Well, I can hear you. I can hear with no problem, but you're not your norm, and the band sucks.
Okay, thanks for confirming that.
And I have hardly no noise, and that's very unusual. It's just like the band. What about you, Jeff? The band here, I mean, it's flat. It's flat.
Well, I've got more noise than usual. I've got, you know, 2.5 or 3, which is noise for me because I'm down to a 1 usually. I turned up towards Brian's way that time to see if it helps him.
Yeah, it's kind of like the RF gain is on. It's flat and quiet. Signals are very muted today.
Yep, that's it right here.
So they brought Brian up. He brought you down a little bit. Also, he did bring him about 3 inches.
Yeah, that antenna works real good for you there. That's some pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's the one that Terry made. So that's why him and his gang that was doing this last weekend, they do a pretty good job. He spent his time making crap, so.
All right, guys, I gotta jump in and out here. Just thought I'd say hello. River's gonna be home very shortly. We're gonna get the we're gonna go get some firewood stacked there. So before the snow covers it, it's snowing pretty good out here now. We'll catch you later on tonight. KA280K.
No. Everybody. Hopefully we'll be able to catch up with you later tonight there. You take care. W4DH.
Okay, later, bye.